The Wolf here at thewolfspeaks.com, and today I want to come to you about a topic close to my heart, and that's marriage. Marriage is such a delicate environment, I think, and I think the other piece of it is I didn't get taught how to be a husband or a good spouse when I was younger. My stepdad that were around, my mom and dad split when I was 6 months old. She got me away from him because he was abusive. And I appreciate that protection that she gave me there. But I didn't really have any role models to really tell me what a dad's supposed to be like. A few uncles in the scenario, but nobody that gave me anything specific direction, so I had to reach out on my own. Read a few books here and there, but look, for years and years, I was the earner. I went to work, I provided the income to take care of all those things. But I was not that person that was sensitive when I was at home. My wife loves to call me brash. You're brash, Richard. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to be. That's not the intention, but that's what it comes across. I'm sorry. So when it comes to marriage, I think the big piece of the puzzle that we've got to keep in mind is love. L-O-V-E, yeah, I know it's a four-letter word, but it's not that kind of four-letter word. It's the kind that we really need to put some energy and effort into. And what that means is love, by definition, and there's about 4 or 5 different kinds of love, but the one I'm talking about is that unconditional love, that agape love they talk about, that says, I prefer you over me. I want to give you my time and attention. I want to spend time with you, but also give you what you need. Again, not about myself. It's not about filling my needs, because I firmly believe that when you pour enough into your spouse, you're going to get everything you need back. And here's what I learned in my marriage a little bit, simply was that when I did take the time to wash those dishes 2 or 3 times a week, or to pick up my clothes and put them up, or do those things that were important to her. My wife is a very creative person. Julie is awesome. She's decorated our new home to the beachy kind of spa-like style. So when she leaves the house during the day, she wants everything picked up. Because if someone comes in, she wants to present a good picture. And I wasn't sensitive to that for a long time. So now I make the point to stop and pick up all my stuff, but I'll even help her with that. Pick her stuff up and put it away. So that if someone comes by, she feels good about her house and it's presentable, right? But it's going to be like that in a lot of different areas in our life. I tell a lot of young men that I'll coach is be sensitive to your wife to find out, baby, what's important to you? I mean, what's really important? And make sure that you do those things, because it's going to come back in spades, I promise you. Here's another strategy. It's been around for years. Gary Chapman, he wrote a book, The 5 Love Languages. It's a fantastic book. I recommend you go get it. But in the interim, 5 love languages, Google that, and go to his website, and you can fill out the form to find out what is your love language. You figure out what it is that's important to your spouse, because here's what happens, I find, is if I know what mine is, like gifts, well, if I'm trying to give her gifts, but that's not her love language, it's not going to work. Now, sometimes gifts are an addition, but people typically have a primary and then like a secondary love language. So go take the assessment and see where you fall into the categories, because for yourself, but also have your spouse do it, so that you have that open relationship to have that conversation. Here's the next strategy. I know it's going to be tough. Communication. We can't be afraid to talk to our spouses. We can't be afraid to be honest with them and really share our hearts and our dreams and our desires. Because many times they don't know. You know, as a man, we date our wife. We're courting our wife. We're trying to achieve the marriage, right? And have kids. Many times once we get married, we've conquered. So now we kind of stop, right? Well, that's not the right way to be. We have to reach out and we have to show them how we love them. And not just by providing. That's a good piece of it, and that's important. But everybody's got different needs. So you need to be able to be insightful about those things. And the only way you do that is by asking questions. Hey, baby, what's important to you? How can I be a better husband? Here's another strategy. Okay, honey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super fantastic, there's nothing else we can do to make it better. 1 being you're ready to walk out the door today. Where's our marriage on that scale? Well, probably about a 6. Really now? You may be shocked by the answer. Don't be disturbed, because your follow-up question is this. Okay, sweetheart, well, how do I bring it from a 6 to a 10? What would need to happen? What would you need to see from me to make that marriage better? And just be open for the answer. Don't judge it. Don't do anything except question to make sure you're clear on what she's saying. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that you'd just like for me to pick up after myself a little bit more and then make sure that we put our date nights as a priority once a week. That would kind of move us from a 6 to a 10. And if she comes back, well, no, that'd be more like an 8. Okay, how about from an 8 to a 10? What's that next level? So get all the information you can. And then again, commit to maybe just one of those practices to make yourself better and work toward taking care of this lady that you've married to spend the rest of your life with. After 29 years of marriage, and it's been a rocky road, we actually separated for an entire 12 months. You know, I wasn't doing what I needed to do. There was some change in income and the financial situation that added another stressor on top of it. And she took off, moved back in with her parents. I got a separate place. And over the course of those 12 months, I had to work very diligently. I don't know that she had given up on the relationship, which I know she hadn't, but she really needed me to show her that I was committed to it, to take care of what needed to be done. And I did that because there was a point at which I said, okay, this ain't going to happen. I'm not going to allow this to end this relationship. I've got 2 children. I love them, and I do not want it to be a spousal difference like it was with my dad, gone at 6 months, and I never saw him again. So I was committed to, okay, what do I have to do? And we talked and we communicated, and it was ugly. It was tearful. It was painful, but we began to work through it. We got some counseling. We came back together, and 12 months later, we were back together. Now, yeah, there's still been rocky roads. It's never been perfect, and it never probably will be, but we are years ahead of where we were when we separated for that year. And things are so much better now than ever. But I attribute it 100% to what I put into the relationship at that point. I had not given what I needed to, so I started to work and give and give and give and be there for her as she tells me, oh, my knight in shining armor is back. So you got to be that knight in shining armor for that beloved one of yours. Now, men to women, women to men, ladies out there, it works the same way. But you got to be open to talk and have communication. What can you do for him that shows him that you care for him? What's his love language, and how do we pour into that? And I will say this, men, nothing beats a good little bunch of roses or a bunch of flowers every so often to bring home to the spouse. Maybe they like chocolate. Maybe chocolate's the better idea. But find out what's important and do those little things just upon occasion. Spur of the moment. It's going to show them that you care and that you're actually thinking about them. Because today's world, our busy life and going, and phones and distractions everywhere, we do tend to just kind of let things fall by the wayside. And that's where we have to come back and be intentional about our relationship. Last caveat on relationships for you too is that's not the only relationship we have, is it? We've got them at work, we've got them in the community with friends, organizations, and we've got them all over the place. We have them with our supervisors, we have them with our subordinates. We have to manage all of those relationships very similarly. Is what's the time and attention I'm giving to these folks? And there's going to be people in your life that may be too negative, or maybe you just can't do enough to please them, and that's where you're going to have to separate yourself. Maybe you don't cut them out completely, but instead of seeing them once a week, you see them once a month now. So you have to ration that out, and you need to look at those relationships in your lives. Because I know for myself, I can probably tell you, I've probably about 5, maybe 6 or 7, what I consider true friends. Those true friends that'll, if you call them at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're actually going to answer the phone and help you if you need help, right? Those are me, are true friends. And there's a much limited group of that. You've got a lot of acquaintances, a lot of people you might hang out with and do things, but those are the people that really make the difference in your life. So cherish those and work to really make sure those relationships are healthy by, again, asking questions. Hey man, how can I be a better friend? Hey, go to your boss and say, hey, what can I do to be better in my position? What are the things you're looking for that would help you that I can contribute to? I would bet you that if you did that a couple of times and you actually executed on what the feedback was, if you didn't get a promotion real soon or a raise in pay, I would be shocked, because that's the kind of thing that most employees will not go to their supervisors and ask. So those are little strategies for you. Marriage, community, friendships, work relationships, and career that you can use to kind of help move yourself in the relationship and marriage arena to give yourself a more fulfilling life. Because one thing I'm very committed to, and I believe it's so important today, is that we have to take the time to reach out and find out things that we don't know. We've got to self-evaluate, right? That's where you find that coach. You find that person that you can say, hey, I need some help here. Here's what's going on. Tell me what you see from the outside world looking in. And that's what a good coach will do for you. And then the second thing they'll do is they'll help hold you accountable to the things you said you're going to do. So get that help, reach out. I'm here to help you and share what I know, teach you what I can teach you, help you live and move to that better way of living to where you feel the joy, the peace, the fulfillment in life that's there for everybody. We all have access to it. We just let so many things get in the way. So take the time to self-evaluate and help yourself move to the next level. The Wolf here at thewolfspeaks.com.